This is day something on the sailing vessel, who knows what. Just nearly 48 hours into the trip, and we're about to go through our first squall line here. It doesn't look too juicy, but you can see a couple of thin squall lines on the radar. And it happens to be captained by Wallabear's watch.
This is the dream.
Suiting up.
Hello, Fally's my old friend. I've come to sit watch with you on again.
Don't have the sea boots on yet.
Don't have the sea boots. That is one nice thing about the tropics. The sun will be out in 20 minutes.
Rule number one, don't fall off the boat.
Never fall off the boat. All right, ready to go to outer space. Come on you fast and they leave you fast. Well, we made it through the little rain clouds, scattered rain showers, and now I'm having some tea that Ann made me to warm up a little bit. But yeah, it was good. And now we got a little bit more wind. We're blowing 14 knots right on the beam, so we're probably doing 6 knots. And oh, there's a little straggler. So we have been getting some erratic readings out of our depth sounder and boat speed sensor. For instance, it says we're in 30 feet of water right now. We're actually in 10,000. So we cleaned the hull, but I didn't pull the sensor out and clean it specifically, so we're gonna do that. And it involves opening up a 2-inch hole in the hull and then plugging it quickly. So
Oh God.
It's exciting. Okay, so we're gonna loosen this guy up and then we're gonna put this plug in so that we don't sink.
It's gonna shoot up, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Ready? Annie's turn. She got the short straw. Another little rain cloud. Hopefully have some sun tomorrow. It's been a rainy day. Working on our French phrases for our arrival. I have a long way to go.
How do you say, where are the bathrooms?
Où sont les toilettes?
You know that, I think. Day 4, the Pacific. It's freezing. As you can see, I'm wearing my Steve Zissou hat. The weather's disgusting.
Blowing 23 to 25 knots. Pounding into the waves.
Got a reef jib and a reef main. 25 knots of wind, gusting up to 27, 28. Really hoping that the winds will calm down a bit because these waves are massive. The beginning is the hard part, getting to the beam reach to the Galapagos. Still a couple days away. But I think that, you know, we just need to get through these next couple days and then we'll be smooth sailing. Whoa. What do you think, Captain?
Whew. It's been a rainy 24 hours. Rain, 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 rain. Ready to see the sun.
You're ready to see the sun, huh?
Yep.
Hopefully soon.
Alright, on tonight's episode of Cooking with Koala Bear, we are going to cook some tuna tacos. We caught a tuna yesterday, but it's been blowing like crazy, so we haven't had a chance to eat it yet. And we decided to tack. It's a little easier to cook on the starboard tack because the galley's on the starboard side, so you can kind of wedge yourself in easier. And we're gonna give it a go. We haven't had a proper hot meal in a while, so it's important to keep the crew fed. Oh, jeez! Big wave. We had very little wind today, so we motored for a while, but then we consumed our allotment of fuel for today, so we decided we were just going to drift, and we actually rolled up all the sails. There was so little wind, there was no point, so we rolled up all the sails and we were just starting to drift north, which is backwards, you can see there. We haven't filmed that much. It's been very rainy and gray and just been sort of making our way south, so once we get to the trade winds, I'm sure we'll liven up a bit. But yeah, so it's a calm night at least. And we're doing 2.5 knots, so we'll get some good sleep tonight, and hopefully the rain doesn't get more than this pitter patter that we're having. I realize this is just pitch black video, so hope you enjoyed that pitch black panoramic of the Pacific Ocean. We turned downwind to take care of a few chores because it's really hard when you're heeled over, and now we're going to turn back upwind. So this is what the boat is like when we're sailing downwind. Oh, so nice, so flat. You can cook and use the restroom without bracing yourself against the wall. We're going to see what it's like when you're back upwind. Alright, back into the teeth of the wind here. Oh, geez. So, tough living on the wind. You can see we're heeling over 15, 20 degrees. Last night it was more like 20, 25, 20 degrees there. It's been like this for days. Just prefer to be unconscious as much as possible.
You just want to be asleep until you are on a beam reach.
So it's day 7 here, crossing the Pacific Ocean. We've been pretty much close hauled for the last 5 or 6 days, and today is no exception, although the wind is slowly shifting south. So we're actually we're not making any more northing, we're making a bit of southing, and as the days goes on we should level out, but right now we're living at 20 degrees. You can see the clothes hanging off the hooks, off the bulkhead. And yeah, Danny's on watch out there. I just made some breakfast, and now I'm gonna make some water. And the sun finally came out. We haven't filmed much. It's been really gross, really gray and rainy. But last couple of days we've actually gotten some sun, so that's nice. Good for the solar panels for sure. Otto's got the helm, steering a course around 265, just south of west. And we are tracking towards the Galapagos Islands, hopefully where we will meet the North Pacific equatorial current and get a little boost. So about 1,600 miles to the equator, and then another, in total will be like 3,400 miles from here to the Marquesas. So quite a bit of ways to go, but we're starting to make real progress. What do you think, Annie?
Damn, you a big boy.
Still living at 20 degrees, but I just thought I'd show you guys we're downloading the weather. We got 3,400 miles to go, and just want to see what the weather routing looks like and read the GMDSS bulletins and look at the satellite imagery. So yeah, it's going to take forever. These are relatively large files because it's a really big area, but and we're doing it over a satellite link. It's going to take a while, but I'll check in with you when it's done. Today we're having the mahi we caught yesterday and some zucchini fingers fried up. Turn downwind a little bit to make cooking easier, and it's gonna be delicious.
Every morning we put out the fishing lines. This is our mahi slayer. Secure the line in a clip so that when you get a pull, you hear a snap. This is a squid. We're going to deploy him on the starboard outrigger. Next up, we've got the cedar plug. It's a wooden plug. We've caught a tuna on this one before. We're going to put this one on the port outrigger. This is made out of a ginger ale can. It's a short line, which we use to attract the fish. Psycho. Just wait and see. Last night the wind died. And we hadn't run the engine in a while, so we thought we'd just motor for a couple hours in the middle of the night. And we tried to turn the engine on, but it would not turn on. Wouldn't even turn over. So we think there might be something wrong with the electrical or the starter motor. We'll try and figure out if we're gonna have an engine when we pull into Hiva Oa. Here she is, the beak. Pelican's beak. Western beak, 58 horsepower.
Older than I am.
This thing is like the Bible on a boat. Nigel Calder's Boat Owner's Mechanical and Electrical Manual. It's got everything in here.
So first we're going to bypass the solenoid and directly energize the starter motor to see if we skip the solenoid, will the starter spin. Now it won't start the motor because without the solenoid the starter won't engage the flywheel, but at least we'll see if the starter motor itself, which we do not have a replacement for, will turn. So there might be some sparks, don't be alarmed. Okay, so the starter motor obviously works, which is good news.
We do have a spare solenoid, and then once we get to French Polynesia, we'll have to maybe source a true heavy-duty marine solenoid.
Today we have air-fried mahi-mahi with avocado and red cabbage and onion slaw, topped with a homemade garlic, cayenne. Ooh, aioli.
It's laundry day, middle of the Pacific Ocean. So we're strung up the clothesline. It's a bit windy, but we just put the clothesline through all the clothes so they won't fly away. It's movie night. We're making popcorn.
Degrees.
Got him on the Mahi Slayer. What is it?
Kind of looks like a tuna. Bluefin? Oh, is it fighting you?
It's going down.
Oh God.
Okay.
Wow! Oh my gosh! Oh gosh. Okay.
It's 10.5 pounds.
Nice. This is half of the tuna we got, all vacuum sealed and ready to go into the freezer. This is day something on the sailing vessel who knows what. This is Team Seasu reporting from live on the sailing vessel Pelican. And give us a news, chap.
Well, here we are sailing west, mostly, in 15 knots of wind. We're doing about 7 knots over the ground now. The sun is rising, it's a change of shift. I'm going to bed and Anne is waking up. There's a cargo ship off the port bow, headed for Vancouver, I assume from Cape Rowan, I don't know.
This is the first ship that we've seen in days, and I mean days. I'd spent 3 or 4 days, eh mate?
That's right. First ship we've seen in days, and we still don't actually see it. We just picked it up on radar.
Let's check it out. Let's see it.
Sunrise.
Because we're not super hard on the wind anymore, we're more respectable sail angle, we are using the wind vane. So this is our backup autopilot. We have a below deck hydraulic autopilot, but we also have a monitor wind vane, and this is entirely mechanical, so there's no electricity involved. You can see there is a wind vane. It's a piece of wood. And if that tips over because we come off course, it moves this paddle that's down in the water. The paddle pulls on these control lines, turn that then to a drum on the steering wheel. So if we fall off course, the wind will come from the other side of the vane, tip the vane over, which twists the paddle. The paddle then swings to one side and pulls on the control lines, which then turns the wheel. Kind of like a Rube Goldberg machine. But it works really well, and it's really good to have a backup autopilot and doesn't require any electricity. What do you think, Annie?
Pretty sweet. I love the wind vane.
Cheers.
Coffee out of the lucky seahorse mug that my sister Kat gave me. It's a beautiful morning. It was really gray and blustery when I came out here at 6 a.m. but the sun has come out now. Oh, and the sky is blue and the water's looking blue. Wind's blowing 18 knots, and we have a reef in the jib and a reef in the main, and we're still going 6-7 knots. We're making great progress west now. Just arrived to the region of the Galapagos. We're at 2 degrees, 10.273 minutes north, and 89 degrees, 55.41 minutes west. Once we get to 90 degrees, we'll be due south of New Orleans, which should be cool.
What's on the plan for today?
We are going to have breakfast and then maybe read some Shakespeare together. All that matters is fishing, sleeping, and sailing out here. And a warm cup of coffee.
Yeah, hot cup of coffee goes a long way.
So fresh. It's amazing. It's one of the best parts of being out here is catching those fish.
You always wanted to catch tuna.
I know. But yeah, life is good out here at sea.
First.
It's 14:55.
14:55 local time, 20:55 Zulu time. July 1st, 3,000 nautical miles to go. Passing the Galapagos Islands.
Steady as she goes.
Hey guys, it's Brian here, day 11. It's 3 a.m. in the morning, local time. I think we're in UTC -6, so that's like 9 a.m. Zulu time. Anyway, yeah, it's a nice calm night. It's like blowing 8 to 10 knots. We're doing like between 5 and 6 knots. Very calm seas, so it's almost like sailing in a lake. Enjoying it, getting some good rest, and it's down below sleeping. I'm on watch from 2 to 6, and yeah, I just thought I'd show you guys a little setup. So, little wind shift. Kind of hang out here underneath the Bimini or the Dodger. Nice little spot to stay out of the wind. It's cold. We're like in Fallies and wearing like flannel pants and stuff. But then I brought a thermometer out. We've been complaining about how cold it is. It's I'm not gonna say it's 75 degrees, but we're pretty acclimated to 90. So 75 is pretty cold. We're like freezing, and we can mirror the chart plotter. I don't know if
phones, so we don't have to get up and look at the chart plotter. We can just look at a mirror of it on our phone. And then of course we have our wind display here, so can keep an eye on what the wind is doing, which is the most important thing. And that's it. If you want a good look, forward here. Got red flashlight, so I don't ruin my night vision. Just see what the sails are doing. And yeah, so you can read some books, listen to podcasts, and just look out for ships. We're still fishing. I don't think we're gonna catch anything at night, but we'll be ready to go for the morning. Or we might catch a shark. Alright guys, well, this is Hiva Oa checking in from Night Watch, day 11. Even if they were up on the solar panels, it's strange. Squid on our boat. Want some squid for breakfast?
Makes good bait. Calamari for breakfast.
Does make good bait.
So it's much like being on a spaceship out here on a sailboat sometimes. It's not 0 G, but it's sideways G. This is how we get through the boat.
Oh god.
Surfing.
It's like a tuna. Another tuna!
Go and be fruitful.
Went backwards. This line is taut. This line is taut. This outrigger actually unclipped. Time to reel them in and find out what we got.
This is the bluefin tuna. Anne's gonna gut them up.
My second gutting.
Her second gutting. Anne Hasley, tuna wrangler, with her double catch. Having sushi tonight. Let's see her work. Turn it sideways. Nice. Well, we've been really jonesing for a mahi, so even though we just caught 2 fish, we threw out the mahi slayer.
Slow down more.
It's kind of little, but we're gonna have a little ceviche snack.
All right, you want to gap him? Mahi ceviche. We're gonna have some cheeseburgers. Oh my gosh, we're rolly today. We're gonna have some cheeseburgers to celebrate. Mad Dog gave me a recipe for some butter buns. So that'll be good, and we'll make some brownies too. It's flour, egg, butter, sugar, and salt for the dough. Hamburger buns. These look like they're gonna be more like ship biscuits.
What did you say?
Ship biscuits, you know?
I said something else.
Like, you know, like rations, you know? Like some gruel and
hardtack.
Yeah.
It's hardtack.
Some ship biscuits.
Alright, we got our buns and we buttered them and we're gonna put them in the oven for 15 minutes.
Godspeed.
Godspeed, buns.
Happy 4th of July!
Cyclonic activity north of us, but not of concern because we are below the hurricane belt and they will always move to the north, and we are continuing westward. But you can see where the second cyclone is affecting our wind a little bit. We're getting a little the wind is a little more south than it would be otherwise, I think, and it's bridging the ITCZ. So this is the doldrums. The purple is no wind, and you can see that it's the hurricane is affecting it. So it's interesting.
Cyclones going up to Hawaii. Whew, good thing we're far south. ITCZ, which is normally further south, but this is where you get caught in the doldrums. So we're pretty far south of that, hopefully.
And we're staying north of the equator to avoid this area of higher winds and waves. So we're going to stay around between 1 and 2 degrees until we get here, and then we'll take a dive down to the Marquesas. See how windy it is down there right now.
Tonight we are having pan-seared mahi-mahi in a honey mustard marinade and spaghetti with mushrooms, onion, and garlic.
Makes 7 today.
Perspective. Just a boat on the ocean, huh? Don't fall off.